What is up, everybody? It's JT Sports. I'm back to you guys with another video. This video I'm here with my Los Angeles Rams versus the Atlanta Falcons NFL Week 7 preview and prediction. I'm going to be previewing this matchup and giving my prediction for who will win this game. Now, before I begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Upload NFL videos and college football videos daily. So, the LA Rams coming off of a loss versus the San Francisco 49ers, which they lost 20-7, but really, if you watch the whole entire game, they got dominated. And they lost so bad that it forced them to go into a mid-season rebuild. I've never seen this in all my years watching football. I've never seen a team do a mid-season rebuild. That's what the LA Rams did. They made a bunch of trades. They traded for a center, for a center from Cleveland. Then they made a blockbuster trade from Jalen Ramsey. They traded Marcus Peters away to the Baltimore Ravens in exchange for a linebacker. So, I mean, the LA Rams literally just did a mid-season rebuild on the defensive side of the ball. So, I've never seen it. On the defense, and they addressed the offensive line. I've never seen this ever before in all my years watching football, watching sports. I've never seen a team do a mid-season rebuild. And that's what we've just seen the Los Angeles Rams accomplish. And now the Atlanta Falcons, on the other hand, I mean, my offseason takes, out of all my offseason takes, I've been right about most of my offseason takes. This probably has to be the worst take I've ever had in my whole entire life. I thought the Atlanta Falcons were going to go 12-4, have either the 1 or 2 seed, win the NFC South, and I have been totally incorrect. Absolutely way off. This Atlanta Falcons team, this defense has been a tragedy. At first, I thought it was a tragedy, and now it's really just a comedy. It's just a comedy. Taking a quote from the Joker movie, because this defense is absolutely laughable. It's laughable. It's unwatchable. It's embarrassing. Dan Quinn is supposed to be a defensive-minded coach. And the way that this defense looks has been absolutely disastrous. It just looks god-awful to watch. You might as well just put a college or a high school football defense on there, because, trust me, they couldn't do a lot worse. And the sad thing is, Atlanta, I hyped up Atlanta so bad in the offseason because they had a lot of players missing last season. Devontae Freeman missed games. Deion Jones missed games. Keanu Neal missed games. Ricardo Allen missed games. A lot of their key players on the defense side of the ball missed games. And, I mean, those guys come back healthy. And, I mean, some of those guys got banged up again. But, I mean, the defense has just been god-awful. God-awful. And if Atlanta's looking to turn their season around, it has to be this game. Both of these teams suffering losing streaks. The LA Rams have been coming off of a couple of disappointing weeks. Atlanta has just been a full-blown disappointment. So this is a big game for both of these teams. Both of these teams really need to win this game. But if we have to choose a team for which game this is a must-win for, this is most definitely a must-win for the Atlanta Falcons, because a loss here basically solidifies their spot on the couch when the playoffs begins, and they might as well just go ahead and take the rest of the season, because their chance of making the playoffs are basically slim to none. The Atlanta Falcons have so far been the biggest disappointment of this NFL season, and it's absolutely sad to say that, because I had high expectations for Atlanta Falcons coming in, and I mean, they have just absolutely not lived up to those expectations. They've been the definition of what you would call a disappointment, and their defense sucks. Their defense puts the S and suck. Their defense has just been an absolute abomination. Their defense ranks low in almost every statistical category possible in defense. Third down conversions allowed, last. Red zone defense, near the last. Rushing yards per game allowed, near the last. Passing yards per game allowed, near the last. I mean, this defense is god-awful. God-awful. I don't even think I can explain it how awful the Atlanta Falcons defense is, but it's terrible. It is absolute terrible. This probably has to be the worst defense I've ever seen from a defensive-minded coach in all of my years watching football. Dan Quinn has been the architect behind some of the best defenses in NFL history when he was a defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. So the fact that this Atlanta Falcons defense is just this bad is just disappointing. And Atlanta Falcons fans can't give no excuses for it. The defense just sucks. It just sucks. I've never seen a defense more horrible than the one I'm watching right now from a defensive-minded coach. It's god-awful. So getting into my keys to victory, what easy teams to be able to win the game. For the Atlanta Falcons, they need to control time possession. Look, Atlanta's defense has been an absolute abomination this year. So a way that you can help your defense out when you have a bad defense like this is by controlling time possession and keeping the opposing team's defense on the field and keeping your defense off the field and letting your defense get rest and giving those guys more chances to recover their stamina and things like that, because this defense is awful. So this defense needs all the breaks and all the help they can get. So a way that you help out your defense that is struggling right now, that's on the ropes right now, is by keeping them on the sidelines and giving them chances to get a lot of rest and things like that, and trying out the opposing team's defense. Next, Atlanta has to be able to get pressure on Jared Goff. Atlanta is 32nd in the NFL in sacks per game. They're not getting pressure on the quarterback at all. I mean, after this season, if Atlanta keeps doing it, what it's doing, Vic Beasley's going to be out and Dan Quinn's going to be out. So, I mean, the Atlanta Falcons defense has been an absolute abomination, and their defense has to be able to get pressure on Jared Goff, and they want to be able to win this game. Now, the LA Rams offensive line isn't as good as what it has been the last couple of years. The offensive line is pretty much middle of the pack right now. And Jared Goff right now, he's a little bit on the ropes himself. He's a little bit reeling coming from that performance when he failed to even muster 100 yards passing. So if you're the Atlanta Falcons, you have to be able to get pressure on the Los Angeles Rams, and you got to be able to get pressure on Jared Goff. And the last thing the Atlanta Falcons need to be able to do is they need to limit turnovers. The defense, not only has the defense been bad, but the offense has been turning the ball over at an alarming rate. The Atlanta Falcons are 29th in the NFL in turnover margin with negative 1.8. So that's not good. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL when it comes to turnover margin. So they need to limit the turnovers. Your defense isn't that good, so you don't want to put your defense back on the field. You want to keep your defense off the field as much as possible. Give them as many breaks as possible. But if they want to do that, you can't turn the ball over. Last thing you want to do is put this defense back on the field. The defense already isn't that good. So then you want to put them back on the field at more times than they need to be. So that's why we see the Atlanta Falcons always being down so much, because the defense is back on the field, because the offense keeps on turning over the freaking football. And when you have a defense that's not good, you don't want to put your defense back on the field. Next, what the LA Rams has to be able to do to win this game, the secondary has to play well. They traded for Jalen Ramsey. The secondary has been pretty solid this year. They ranked 14th in opposing completion percentage by opposing quarterbacks. They're allowing 64.08% of their passes to be completed by opposing quarterbacks. And on the road, they're even better in that department. On the road, they're allowing opposing quarterbacks to complete 61% of their passes on the road. So the LA Rams, the secondary has been pretty solid this year. And now you add Jalen Ramsey to the mix. That secondary is going to be tremendously improved now. And on the road against the Atlanta Falcons team that's offense is turnover prone and things like that, this is a favorable matchup for the Los Angeles Rams. And the last thing the LA Rams need to be able to do to win this game is they have to be able to run the football a lot more. The LA Rams are 22nd in the NFL in rushing attempts and rush attempts. And I'm not talking about rushing yards or anything. I'm talking about handing the football off. They're only running the football 22 times per game, which is 22nd in the NFL. And I think a big part of the LA Rams struggle the last couple of weeks is their inability to run the football successfully. Because if you watch the LA Rams is a team that uses the run rushing attack to establish the passing game. So when they're able to run the football, they use the success they have running the football, and they run a lot of play action and things like that. But since the Los Angeles Rams have not been able to run the football that much, and they're not attempting to run the football that much, they're not able to set up the play action pass game. So that's a big reason why the LA Rams have kind of been struggling the last couple of weeks. So they need to be able to run the football a lot more. Even if they don't or do have Todd Gurley, they still need to run the ball a lot more than 22 times a game, because I mean they're 22nd in the NFL in rushing, and when you have an offense that uses the rushing attack instead of the passing attack, you definitely have to be able to have success running the football. So the team that I'm going with to win this game, I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams, and I mean I'm expecting the LA Rams to win this game in a shootout. I'm expecting a lot of points to be scored. I think Los Angeles Rams win this game 38-28, because I just think that at the end of the day, the Los Angeles Rams are going to force some turnovers by the Atlanta Falcons offense, and the Atlanta Falcons defense is going to allow them to score off those turnovers, and LA ends up winning this game 38-28. And I know this game is at Atlanta, but I mean Atlanta's defense has not been that good, and I think this is a game that the LA Rams get back on track, and they go into that game. They go back into next week rolling with a little bit more confidence. And Atlanta, pretty much, they lose this game, and this pretty much is going to end their season if we're being realistic. And they might as well get ready to tank for a top 10 pick and get ready to be watching the playoffs on the couch next season. So that's my final prediction for this game. Let me know who you guys think is going to end up winning this game down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos, and thanks for watching.